Greetings, I'm Robert Gardner, and this is Screening Room. I think it's commercial television's longest-running nonprofit program. I'm reminded of how long we've been running by the fact that my guest today is a man who was one of our earliest guests on this program. I think he may have been one of the first 5 or 10 people to appear in Boston on Screening Room. His name is Hilary Harris. He comes from New York. He epitomizes independent filmmaking in a way I think that is probably quite unique. I'm very happy to have you here, Hilary. The first sort of 20-minute segment of the program will be devoted to, largely to a film that you made called Organism. And I take it that this film, besides knowing some of the background of it more intimately than most people, comes really out of a love that you have for the city, and I wondered if you wanted to just say a little bit about that love that you have for the city before we see it, or whether it's so apparent in the film you don't have to say anything.
Well, no, it's not that apparent for some people, and it's nice to have a chance to maybe talk a little bit about it, because the film doesn't have a didactic message. You have to interpret it to a degree. And some people who find the city very alienating and are frightened of it might get frightened by the film. Actually, I found that to happen. But basically, it's...
I mean, it just reinforces all their worst fears about living in the city.
Yeah, right. Somebody recently pointed out to me that it's an exercise in ego loss, and he wanted to show it in a Buddhist meditation conference. But because it's a vision of the city. It's one slice of this passion that I've had about doing a feature film on the city. And I've been working on it for about 17 years now. And I was able to get funding to develop one theme of this big film into a short film, and I called it Organism. I got some backing from the National Endowment Architecture people and the Rockefeller Family Fund later. And it's one theme, and it's out of the big film, and it's the most distant view of the city. And it's sort of like a time-space...
It's where you've backed off the furthest, you mean?
Yeah. It's like looking at the city through a giant microscope. And
but do I take it that the major, most compelling reason for making it is that you wanted to give people who are either city dwellers or not city dwellers, anybody who's interested in the city, a chance to sort of grasp it, some kind of a metaphor or some kind of a symbol to knit together the city for them?
Yeah, I'd like people to have an image about the city that they can relate to as a whole. And sometimes when you're up in an airplane and you look down on it, you can see the whole thing. And to experience some of the processes as an extension of the human body is what it's really all about.
Okay, well, that's saying quite a lot. Maybe we shouldn't say anything more before seeing the film. I think the thing to do now is to go to the film. It is Organism by Hilary Harris, made when?
1975.
75.